Good morning. Welcome back, guys, to another video brought to you by your one and only Literary Pharaoh. Just the other day, I got a breaking news notification on my phone, and I've been trying to control the type of notifications that I get because I truly believe that just because we have smartphone devices, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be plugged in with everything that's going on in the world. And I know that goes against conventional or traditional thought, right? Traditionally speaking, we like to push for people to continue to stay plugged in. But that's the issue, as I've said numerous times on my channel. Being plugged in is part of the brainwashing system and part of the programming. So what I've done, I have intentionally went in my notifications and pretty much selected the things that I want to be notified on. I at least have that sort of autonomy and control over what comes into my my feed or my notifications. So just the other day, and this is, I don't care about politics, as you guys know. Politics is demonic, it's evil. There's nothing positive, nothing great comes out of politics. But that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. I can stay on that topic forever, but let me just stay on topic here. So I got a notification about something about the increase of oil prices, of the barrel of oil going over $100 or something like that. That was what the title said. And I sort of got frustrated. I'm like, damn, man, like, why am I getting shit? Why am I getting stuff about this? Why am I getting shit like this? Like, I don't care about the geopolitical events that are going on around the world. I don't care about what's going on in the Middle East. I don't care about what's going on in Palestine and Israel. I really don't give a damn, because it's the same story that's been going on for decades. And this is part of the cycle that you guys are washed in. You guys don't see it because you're so immersed into the program that it's hard for you to see outside the program, because all you know is the program. Think about it. All the seasons stay the same. All the holidays stay the same. Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Women's History Day, Black History Month. They all have these programs programmed in. It's no different than people who go to public school. Oftentimes I try to tell you guys, if you want to understand the bigger things that are going on in the world, you have to take a inside-outside look. You have to take a perspective of looking at the micro to understand the macro. So micro, you understand that even when your children, if you have children who go to school, I have young children who go to school, and they have programs within the school to keep things running in a particular way. They have programming, they have schedules, they have bells, they have certain things that they want people to do at certain stages of the day. The day is planned. Well, welcome to the real world, folks. The real world is planned. There's nothing that happens by coincidence. All these stories that we continue to hear about oil prices going up, this is the same story that happened decades ago. It's rinse and repeat. It's on repeat. But you guys think that these are current events and these are new things that are happening. And because so many people have their heads buried in the fucking sand, especially those religious folks, they always think that it's always the end times. Every time is the end times. That's part of the hypnosis as well. Because every religious person thinks that, oh, these are the end days, these are the end days. It's always the end days. Everybody says the same shit. That's part of the cycle. That's part of the programming. Let me give you guys a more simpler version of what I mean by programming. Programming means that it's a system, right? And it follows cycles. It follows schedules. It follows routines. It follows the same flow. There's a certain chronology that's embedded within the system and the program, meaning that even when certain things happen that the programming is not ready for, they have a plan B. So, for instance, you have many people, numerous people, hundreds of thousands of people who are waking up to the bullshit of what this American matrix system is all about. And a lot of people are putting their information online. They're going on YouTube, they're going on Instagram, they're going on TikTok, and they're letting their feelings be known about this diabolical system that we find ourselves in. But the program knows that. The matrix system is prepared for that. They've given you an outlet to do that. What people are doing in terms of blowing whistles or bringing a focus on certain things that are meant to be quote unquote allegedly hidden. That's part of the system. The Epstein files is part of the PSYOP system. As I said before, I was listening to a feed by Billy Carson, and he was talking about the Epstein files and people having to do research to find out what happened. But I left a comment. I don't think he read it. It doesn't matter if he read it, but hopefully somebody read it. I said the information that we know so far about the Epstein files is controlled and leaked. Well, I wouldn't even call it leaked, because leaked implies that it wasn't trying to be let out in the first place. The information that we have so far, whether you can research it or not, the fact that the information is available, that's part of a PSYOP. You say literary pharaoh. What do you mean that it's part of a PSYOP? What I mean by that is this: the information that we are privy to, or the information that we have access to, is only accessible because they allowed it to be accessible. And what we do know is not because we came upon it, because we found out some sort of revelatory means of gaining that information. No, not at all. This is information they want us to know, but that's why it's controlled opposition. It's a PSYOP, meaning that we're going to give you just enough information for you rats at the bottom of the barrel to grumble on, to fight over, to debate over. We control narratives. We control stories. We control his story because it's our story. It's his story. We control talking points. We use those talking points to influence the trajectory of what political banter, or what direction political banter is going to take. We are the ones that control the minds of the people. We control what y'all think. We control what the religious movement is going to do, or what they think. It's always easy to control religious people because the first thing they go to is that Jesus is coming back, or it's the end times. That's their go-to. Anytime something happens, they don't apply critical thinking. The only thing they can think about is, oh, the Savior's coming. The Savior's coming. And it's sad because it truly impedes the process of what it takes to be a true critical thinker, and to have a high degree of introspection in the way that you view things. It completely robs you of that skill set. And yes, indeed, it is a skill set to think. And most people don't have that skill. They just go off what they're fed. So when I got a feed on my phone talking about $100 a barrel, gas prices going up, but I said, I've lived long enough. I'm 45 years old, or should I say 45 years young. I've seen the cycle repeat itself. I've seen the ebbs and flows of gas prices going up and down, and then blaming it on the price of oil. And Americans, the American news media, legacy media, the most diabolical media engine in the world. There's an act. I think I did a video on it. It was called the Mundt Act, MUNDT Act. Look it up if you think that I'm lying. I'm not bullshitting. It's an act that the United States government uses to deliberately manipulate the public in order. I want you to listen to this. They manipulate the public, but they paint it in a way as if it's about foreign relations, meaning that let me just let you know about it in simple terms. I don't want to read the verbatim. I don't know it verbatim, but I'm going to give it to you as simply as I understand it, and hopefully you can understand it as well. In other words, because of foreign relations, because we don't want our foreign enemies, all right, to understand what's going on in our country, we deliberately will tell lies to keep them off guard, to keep them off track to what's going on in America. So we oftentimes, the news media, we're not going to tell the truth of what's really going on, because we have to lie, because we know that they're spying on us and we don't want them to understand what's going on in our country. So we have to put out false information. Well, I want you guys to understand this. If they're putting out false information because they don't want foreigners to understand what's going on here, guess what we're doing? We're believing the false information like idiots. That's why It pains me when I go to work, as I'm driving to work today, and I hear people talk about current events. I'm like, you fucking idiots. It's all a fucking game. They're not even telling you the truth. They're giving you half-truths. And if you give me a half-truth, that's a lie. Either you give me the complete truth with facts, or you don't even talk to me at all. Which is why I always tell you guys, always focus on things that are within your locus of control. Don't focus on the things that are outside your locus of control. I don't give a F about gas prices. Let gas prices go up. I don't give a damn. It's not only affecting me, it's affecting everybody else. I don't care who the president is. I don't care what the senators are. I don't care what the policies are. I don't care why they're going to war. The only thing that war benefits are the bankers. The bankers will fund both sides of the war because they don't care who wins as long as you fight. You have to understand that there's not a good guy or a bad guy in this in terms of the people that are on the surface. You know, the people on the surface that we can see, that we know. It's not good guy or bad guy. The bad guys are the bankers. The bad guys are the controllers. The bad guys are the ones that control the monopoly board. They're not even in the game. We're trying to play the game. They've already monopolized the game. They're just watching us. And they get some sort of sick fetish and excitement of seeing us manipulated. They love to see humanity in stress. They love to see little children being tortured. It's a sick world we live in. So when I got a feed about that, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm so numb to it. There's nothing. And trust me, we are in 2026. Before 2030 hits, there's going to be some sort of plague. Probably not as big as a COVID pandemic, but there's going to be another pandemic. There's going to be some sort of a plague that's coming. They love to blame everything on foreigners. They blame Iran for everything. They blamed Iraq for the Iraq war, that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. We all understand that was total bullshit. But yet you guys understand that story was bullshit, but yet you guys still believe when they tell you that Iran is a threat to America. When will you guys wake up? Like, see, you guys don't... Once you understand the patterns and the trends, it's sort of easy to detect where they're going. It's pretty easy. Now, you may not know what the stories are going to be. I'm not gonna go that far to imply that we're gonna come to some sort of an understanding of what the particular story is gonna be in terms of the specificity of it. We may not get there, right? We may not get to that point, but we understand what these stories are. They're called precedents. Precedents. I'm sure write that down on a piece of paper. They're called precedents. These are stories that are told in order to set the stage for something else to happen. Just the other day, I don't watch the news. I happened to see a feed. Where was I at? Oh, yeah. Where was I at? I took my son to the barber shop, and the barber had his television up, and they were watching news. And no, I take that back. It wasn't at the barber shop. I take that back. It was when I went to go visit my mom at the hospital, right? And they had the TV up, and they were talking about some mass shooting, some shooting that happened. I'm like, here we go again. These shooting events are all staged. No one's going out anywhere shooting anybody. And if anyone is going out doing that, it's because they've been controlled. They've been controlled by the CIA. They have mind manipulation technology that they can use to manipulate the brains of people to go commit heinous crimes. I know for a fact that people aren't strapping up with guns to just go shoot random people. Usually people have intent and motive, and usually they have a target that they're trying to get. Now, I think the story it was about the Jewish community. The Jewish community is always being painted as victims. Oh, the Jews, the poor little Jews. Don't talk about the Jews. They're so special. They're God's sacred people. Everybody's fucking sacred. Like, I don't give a damn what the fucking book says. I'm sacred because I can talk and I'm here. I'm God in the flesh. I'm God. God is God and I'm God. He's living. That power is living, is experiencing this third dimensional reality through my lens. So I'm an extension of God. God is me and I am God. We're all one. Energy is one. It's a force. You fucking idiots. Israel, God's chosen people. Israel runs America, if you guys didn't know that. So everything that's happening in the world today is benefiting the bankers, the controllers of the system. As I've told you guys before, I'm going to keep saying this. One day, Someone's gonna come back to my channel and say, man, you were saying this all along. The system is not ran by human intelligence. The system is ran by humans, but the humans that are running the system are given information on how to run the system by an extraterrestrial intelligence, an intelligence that's far superior and far advanced than our intelligence. Okay? We're not here destroying ourselves. We're not. There are powers out there that can be used for good, and there's powers out there that people use for evil. But the power is there. The power that's there, that's being shown to the humans, and these are select humans with particular bloodlines, right? Linked to Yaqub. You say, who is Yaqub? Do research on Yaqub. Some say it's a myth, but I'm at the point now, nothing is myth. Everything has a little bit of truth in it. It's just left up to you to decipher what you're gonna filter out as bullshit and what you're gonna keep. And most people are biased. They're gonna keep certain things that embellishes their particular preset worldview. So if they already had a worldview on a religious topic, they're gonna weed out anything that goes against their religious dogma without any type of consideration. They block off everything else. And when you do that, you retard your evolutionary process in terms of how you think. Religion was made to retard people because it gives you the explanation of the unknown, but it gives you an explanation that's not an explanation. It just says everything is a miracle, God did it, and then we stop from there, and we don't dig any deeper. I implore us as human beings, as a force, to continue to dig. That's what life is. If you want to know about life, look at an infant, look at babies, look at children. They continue to dig. They're so curious to the point that their curiosity can almost kill them because they don't know any better. They dig into places that they're not supposed to dig into. But we as adults are their guides. We tell them what's dangerous and we tell them what's not dangerous. We allow them to play with things that are safe and we take away the things that are harmful. Well, as children, we need that. But as we get to be adults, we're old enough and we're wise enough, hopefully, to know what is harmful. Now, what the religious sect likes to do, they like to paint the picture that delving deep into certain topics is demonic, and it can brainwash you, and you have to be careful of what you read. They use fear as a tactic to lure you away from being enlightened. They view enlightenment as a curse, and they view being ignorant as bliss. They view being dumb and being bereft of any sort of knowledge as being something that's infused with some sort of wisdom, that you not knowing and just requiring some existential force or some experience outside of you, be it this made up, conjured up imaginary God that they believe in, that if you just trust that thing or that person, that's what makes you wise. And don't you dare think for yourself, because the minute you start to think, that's a no-no. Don't you dare do that, because if you think, you may become a little bit wiser in your own self-motivated will to become wise. But I don't think wisdom just comes as a hocus pocus kind of thing. I think wisdom is something you have to work for. I think experience gives you wisdom, and trying things and failing gives you wisdom. I think sitting back and because of fear and you being very reluctant to move forward with everything, that's the epitome of being unwise and being foolish, because you're not attempting anything. Fear never breeds wisdom. They say the beginning of wisdom, what they like to say, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of God, or anything like that. Anything that has fear in it totally wipes away wisdom, because there's no wisdom without trying. Experience gives you wisdom, but you can't experience anything if you don't try anything. And when you've tried things and you've seen the results of those things that you've tried, then you start to have a clearer understanding of, okay, this is meaningless, this is vanity, this is vain, this has no purpose in life. I've been there, done that. Okay, so that's what's happening in our world today. We have brainwashing systems and cycles and sequences and programs that we all believe in, and we all are letting or allowing those things to rule our psychology. Once you unplug, it doesn't affect you, and when you see it, you become repulsed. You become repulsed by news. You don't become eager to see the news so you can be updated with current events. You get repulsed by it because you see it for the bullshit that it is. You see it as lies. You see it as made up stories. You see, oftentimes, whenever people are getting a hold of what's going on in society, you'll have a political figure or some sort of figure that's popular use what we know to be true, and they end up marring that term or that lingo. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. When people start to come to the awakening that, hey, news is fake, they don't really tell the truth on news. We once believed that news was somewhere we can go to get truth. News is fake. Then we get a guy like Donald Trump who comes in talking about fake news. Well, guess what? People who lack critical thoughts, they jumped on that. They said, oh my God, we have a president that believes just like we are. We're getting awake to news being fake, and here's a president saying fake news. Yeah, I like him. That's also psyop. The point that I'm making is this, guys. Don't follow anything that's on your television screen. Don't follow anything that's on your smartphone devices. When I say follow, it doesn't mean that you can't read it or you can't get information. What I mean that don't get on that frequency. Don't jump on that bandwidth. Don't jump on that bandwagon. You see, once they've exposed you to something and they've given you the ability to see that, okay, Americans are waking up. We're going to give them a president that talks about fake news. And those people that are waking up are going to fall into the trap of following Trump. And once they follow Trump, then Trump's going to take them down a pathway of being immersed into the realm of politics where things become more muddled and confused and convoluted. And then we have them. You see, the war is for your mind. You know, just like Alex Jones says, he has a show called InfoWars. It's truly a war of information, but it's not just a war of information or war for information. It's a war for your mind. And as long as our minds are plugged in, they have us. But they're going to use all sorts of things. They're going to use religion. They're going to use presidential candidates. They're going to use what you believe in to get you sucked in. Now, there are a lot of things that I believe in that I hold dear to be true to my heart that a politician could say. They could probably repeat something that I've said, but because I'm not plugged in, I don't give a rat's ass about what a politician says. So therefore, I don't have my heartstrings linked to anyone. My heart is to my heart. My heart is to me. My heart is linked to me, my wife, and my 3 children. I keep it very simple, folks. I keep my house in order, and everything that's outside my house I could give 2 shits about. And I think that you guys need to employ that kind of worldview, and you'll see how stress-free you'll be. A lot of people who keep up with the current events, they're always stressed, they're always on edge. They come to work angry. They come to work with some sort of racial tension that they carry on their shoulders. You can see it eking off their skin, emanating from their pores. You can feel it. Oh, this person's a Trump. Oh, this person's racist. Oh, this person's a Democrat. Oh, this person's a Republican. I'm like, golly, man, stop it. Stop it. It's draining. So again, guys, I'd rather die and be buried with my own thoughts and what I believe. It could be wrong. I don't care, because we are inundated with so much lies that it would behoove you to unplug and to just create your own reality. Why? Because you're your own God anyway. Don't let them think for you, or don't let them shape your own thoughts. You have to create your own world and live in your own world to escape the stressful traps that this diabolical system has for us. And the traps that are set are for our minds, for our souls, and for our children, and for the innocents. That's what it's for. It's to destroy anything that's innocent Anything that's pure is just to destroy it. I'm not really big into this balance thing. I understand that balance does exist because you know the yin yang principle, but the balance has to be exactly what it says, a balance. But there's an overwhelmingly a force of darkness that's prevailing in our reality, that there's no balance. There's some good in the world. I'm not here to say that it's 100% evil all the time. No, it's not. There's great things going on in the world today. But if you talking about balance, there's no balance. Things have to be balanced, but there's no balance. I understand in the world there's a dichotomy between darkness and light, and evil and goodness. I understand that those things exist, but it has to exist within the confines of balance, 50-50. Like, it has to be balanced. And we don't have balance. We have both that do exist. We have both reference that do exist. We have darkness and we have light. We have evil. We have goodness. Both do exist, but it's not balanced. And I think it's going to take an awakening of all of us, not just some of us, all of us, for the balance to actually be inserted and applied and implemented to where we can actually see the fruition of those things happening in our lives and around us. Until then, we're just playing the whole game of being brainwashed by the matrix system, by the beast system, the system that we're all plugged into. All right, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Remember, nothing should shock you. It's the same story. It's the same CD being put on repeat. It's the same tracks. There's 12 tracks on the album, and the album just playing over and over again. And some of you guys just forget. By the time you get to track 11, and it goes to track 12, and it goes back to track 1, you forget track 1. Just remember. Just take notes. Do like I do. Get a journal. Write down these current events. Keep it. Don't lose that journal, and you'll see how these current events repeat itself. We're always going to war. There's always some sort of tension with another country. It doesn't matter what the reason is. The reasons are useless, because they feed us the fake lies in order for the banks. The banks rule the media too. There are like a handful of media execs that control media. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is proven fact. And all of them have their hands in decentralized banks. And the only way that these people can continue to get rich and control the world is to continue to make people fight and go to wars. But it's the same cycle. Just write it down. Iraq War, 9/11. There's always a precedence. There's always a story that takes place before we go to war. You had the World Trade Center buildings that went down, right? And then that justified, it gave us the compulsion, or gave us the justification to go to war in the Middle East to take down Osama bin Laden, but to take down Saddam Hussein, because he was housing weapons of mass destruction. We all know that was bullshit lies. They only went there to take gold, right? And then they say, oh no, it's not him, it's Osama bin Laden. So all these things are happening for a reason, and as if you jot them down, you'll see that over time it's the same story, just different characters. It's the same story. It's still Middle East that they're struggling with. If it's not Iraq or some other country there, it's going to be Iran. Iran has always been in play. The Palestine-Israel struggle has always been in play. I'm old. I'm young enough. I'm 45 years young. I've lived long enough to hear these stories again and again. The tax stories that they say, the price of oil going up is the same shit. And you guys have the same fucking reaction to the same stories. We are living in an insane asylum, folks, and it's hard for me to. That's why I unplug and I don't talk to people much. That's why I have a channel like this. This is actually an outlet for me. I'm not doing this to create content to get money or anything like that. I'm not getting any money from it, but this is actually very therapeutic for me, because I can't have conversations with people and have an honest dialogue with anybody, because they're gonna look at me like, oh, this guy's crazy. He's not plugged in. No, you're crazy. You're plugged in. You're an idiot if you're plugged in. The voting system, the religious system, the political system, they're all systems. The educational system, everything. The medical industry, it's all a fucking lie. How many times have hospitals killed people intentionally? Malfeasance, malpractice. Because their practices are malpractice. Their practices go against health. They're not trying to heal anybody. They're just trying to mask symptoms. But that's a whole nother story for another day. You just do understand that all systems are geared to work against humanity. The Food and Drug Administration, they're They're signing off on foods and toxic things in these foods that they know deliberately cause cancer. They know that they cause cancer. They're doing it deliberately. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. But you trust the FDA. You trust the FDA, right? Well, the FDA approved it. Okay, go ahead and take it, you dumbass. Well, the CDC said, okay, go ahead and do what the CDC says. Fucking idiot. Again, man, it's gonna take a mass awakening. Not just mass, it's gonna take a collective, but I'm not being a pessimist. We're just not gonna get there. We're not gonna get there. So all I can do is control what I can control, right? Teach my children, give them the ability to think for themselves, to be critical thinkers, teach them how to think, not teach them what to think. Teach them how to ask the right questions. Because if you don't have any knowledge and you don't do research, you can't ask questions. You see, that's why the religious thing is very, very... I always go to a religion because that's where they teach you not to ask questions. That's the blueprint of keeping people in a program and to keep people ignorant. Is to cast some sort of stigma against seeking, against asking, making it seem as if it's a bad thing if you ask questions because you don't believe and you don't have faith. How dare you question the system? God is going to strike you and send you to hell because God's ways are not your ways. Well, I don't give a fuck about that God. That God can have his way. I have my ways. As a matter of fact, our ways, most of our ways are more moral than his ways. He's slaughtering people and cursing people. We're just trying to figure this shit out. And he does nothing to protect anybody. All the children that are being trafficked and brutalized and being tortured for adrenochrome. Where's this fucking God at? He's just there watching it. You guys are idiots, and that's who you guys get on your knees and pray to. But then you guys give this God the justification of being what he does and saying, well, it's because sin is in the world. Well, sin is in the world because of this God. Because he had a foresight and a foreknowledge of what was going to happen when he created everything, and he still did it. See, the whole religious story is bullshit. You know before you do it, and you do it anyway. That makes you culpable. That makes you the cause of it. And you even say it in the book. Your God says it. I create evil and I create good. So the evil things that we see happening is because of the God that you guys are praying to. So then you get, again, you guys are praying to the God that created the evil, but you're praying to the God that created the evil, to get rid of the evil. That doesn't make sense. He created it according to your biblical scriptures. But I don't believe in that shit. That's why people think, well, you don't believe in that. I do believe in the creator. I don't believe in the God that you guys believe in. I believe in the creator is as much as me. So I believe in myself. I'm thankful for myself. I pray to myself. Because it's me, myself, and fucking I. I have the power. My power is not to anybody else. It's me. My decisions. I don't need any fucking mercy. As if I've done something wrong, and anything that I get in this life, I just should be thankful because God has mercy on me. As if I'm supposed to be perpetually cursed 24/7 throughout the day. Someone's sick, dying in a hospital. You have people praying, let's thank God for his mercy. Mercy for what? Mercy as if we deserve hell? Like, they do teach that. They deserve that. We all deserve hell. So if a kid is getting raped and brutally tortured, it's okay because hell is worse than that anyway. So if the kid's getting tortured and getting raped and getting sodomized, it's okay. Because, I mean, after all, hell is worse than this. And God has mercy. That's mercy. Because if God is allowing that to happen, that's mercy. That's mercy. You see how stupid that is? How is that mercy? That's torture now. I don't know about a fucking heaven or hell. I know about now. I know about this reality that I'm in. And what I do know is that I'm going to control what I can't control here. So if I see a child being brutalized and tortured, I'm not going to sit there and say, well, have mercy. I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it. Right? That's the natural human inclination is to lean into that and and try to protect children, whether it's your child or not, whether it's your business or not. It's just instinct. It's instinct. As a father, as a person, when you see somebody that needs help, you just don't walk by. But guess what our God does? And I say our God because that's the God that millions of people believe in. Because Christianity is like the biggest religion. So I'm always going to pick on Christianity because that's y'all's go-to. Your God walks by and just whistles. He just sees it. And yet y'all think that's righteousness. You fucking idiots. Oh, his son died on the cross and he watched his son die. That's not good. Why are you sending your son to die for other people? That's not good. Y'all think that's merciful, that's so loving. That's stupidity. I have a son. I'm not giving up my son to go die for anybody. I'm going to protect my son. You guys have been brainwashed. Y'all think that evil is good. You have a murderous, evil God, and y'all have taken his diabolical mind, and you guys have melded his thinking with your thinking, and it's hard for you guys to see logic in anything. You can't see logic in it because it's God. He works in mysterious ways. Even if children are getting tortured, it's okay. God's will. Well, I don't want anything to do with a fucking God that's like that, with a despot like that. Stupid ass. I'm a jealous God. Why the fuck are you jealous? Why is a creator even jealous? I ask you, answer that question. Why is a God jealous? If there are no other gods that exist, why is the God, you know why that God is jealous? Because there were other extraterrestrial beings that were posing to be gods. So these gods were ruling over people in certain geographical regions and telling those people to go torture other people from other villages. It's always been war, folks. It's the same blueprint. What's happening in 2026 has been happening forever, right? And nothing has changed. They've always told people to go slaughter other people. Take their women, take their children, take their animals, take their stuff, kill all the men, blah, 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 cut their necks off, cut their dicks off. Like, torture and murder has been the theme of humanity only because we've allowed religion to dictate our trajectory. We've allowed religion and some unknown God that we believe in, nothing but an extraterrestrial that gives two shits about humanity. We're like ants to them. It's like when you walk over an ant pile and you step on some ants and you kill them. That's how they think of us. We've allowed them to control us. We've allowed religion to control us. We've allowed the diabolical systems they put here to control us, which is the matrix system, which I keep telling you guys that it's an extraterrestrial system that's governing us, which is why it's hard to get out of it. I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard to unplug, especially when you've been plugged into it all your life. Muscle memory, cellular memory, neurological memory, because your neurons have their own brains. Everything is tapped in. It's hard to break habits, folks. I mean, I understand. I get it. But you have to put forth the effort to do it. You have to be deliberate and be very intentional about it. It's not going to happen overnight, because if it was that easy to do, then everybody would be able to do it. And sometimes you just have to go through certain experiences to give you that extra energy or that extra force to overcome it. I'm going to leave it there, folks. I'm almost at work now. And yeah, man, just the whole system, man, it's effed up. And you have to be your own God and just watch out for yourself and control what you can control within your cipher, within everything that's within your locus of control. Impact people for good that are around you, and don't use the system to reach the system or to reach people in the system, because that's going to just put you back into the muck. In other words, don't talk politics at work. Don't talk religion at work. Don't talk about any wars that are happening. Don't debate people on what's going on with Israel and Palestine. Don't talk about that shit. Just talk about the basic needs of humanity. The basic things that people need: love and care. Love, care, nurturing. Just keep it simple. Simplicity is bliss. Okay? I'm going to leave it there, guys. Take care, and until next time, peace.